This is Lisa from Mobile Tech Review, and this is the Dell Inspiron 13 5000 series, specifically the 5379 model with Intel 8th generation CPUs inside, DDR4 RAM, your choice of a hard drive or an SSD. So this is the more affordable line, the 5000. We've done the 7000, which is as high as the Inspiron goes, and of course there's a 3000 model. It's pretty versatile. It comes in 13, 15, and 17-inch sizes and 13 and 15-inch convertibles with 360-degree hinges and touchscreens. We have the convertible model here. Forgive my stuffy sounding nose, I just had the flu last week. It might be a little bit red. Anyway, we're going to look at it now. So the Inspiron 5000 series, like I said, it's kind of that bread and butter, more people can afford it line of computer. It's not going to have the sleekest design or a metal chassis. This has genuine gray plastic, though it doesn't look really plasticky when you look at it. It's not bad looking either. What are you losing out by going with the 5000 instead of the 7000 series? Well, you're going to get the same CPUs. You're going to have slower SSD options or hard drives in the case of the 5000 base models, and not as good a display. So let's get into the details a little bit more. It starts at $499. That's with an Intel Pentium CPU, which you don't want, really. It's just not worth the money, trust me. But you can get it with 8th gen Intel Core i3, i5, i7 CPUs, and those are the ones that you do want. And of course, the 8th generation CPUs are significantly faster. These are quad-core 15-watt Ultrabook CPUs that really rock some pretty significant speed. It's exciting what you can get these days, basically, thanks to the affordability of the hardware inside here in terms of performance. The SSD is going to be a SATA3 interface. At this price, you're not going to get PCIe or NVMe superfast SSDs. That's what higher end models are for. Ours is $729 with a Core i5-8250U, 8 gigs of DDR4 RAM, and a 256 gig SSD made by Lite-On in our case. I'm sure Dell always sources a variety of brands of SSDs. Yours might be different. Intel UHD 620 integrated graphics is standard. There's no dedicated graphics option here, and truly most 13-inch convertibles don't have dedicated graphics options. You have Qualcomm Atheros Wi-Fi. Dell's been doing that lately. Also been using killer Wi-Fi in some of their higher-end models, and it's a good Wi-Fi chip with Bluetooth. No complaints there in terms of performance. The full HD 1920 by 1080 display, it has some good things and some bad things here. The brightness is keenly disappointing. You can see the value there on screen. I mean, we're talking 189 nits. So if you're going to use this outdoors and in bright environments, especially given the fact you've got a glossy display going on here, this wouldn't be the one for you. This is strictly indoor use only. The color gamut for this price is okay. It's not going to be as good as an Inspiron 7000 or any other more expensive laptop, but it's okay. Contrast is actually pretty good on this, though. So you see what I mean? Some things are good, some things are yee. This is a touchscreen only, by the way. There is no active pen support whatsoever. So if you need a pen, then this is not the model for you. Look to higher systems like the Inspiron 7000 or an HP Spectre or one of the HP Envies that supports that. This does have a backlit keyboard, and it's okay. I'm not a real fan of what Dell's been doing with keyboards lately, that kind of low travel and abrupt feel. It's not that super low travel. It's 1.3 millimeter, but it's not particularly cushiony or feedbacky, but it's okay. It's perfectly fine and competent. Trackpad likewise behaves just fine. In terms of ports, it has all the standard, solid, everyday legacy ports, as we would call them now, I suppose. There's no USB-C port here. That's fair for the price. Again, you're talking something $729 or even less. You got your usual USB-A ports going on. You've got HDMI, but it's 1.4A, not 2.0, which is a little bit strange. Full-size SD card slot, and the card goes all the way in. It won't stick out, so good times there. And of course, a headphone jack, which still has not been banished on laptops. The stereo speakers with Waves Max audio are pretty loud and full for a 13-inch laptop. They sound pretty nice. It's certainly good enough to watch a movie and enjoy it in a small to medium-sized room. Battery life on this, it's okay. It's not great. It has a 42 watt-hour battery, which is a reasonable capacity. We see Ultrabooks in this size class with 40s to 50s in terms of watt-hour, and we average about 6 hours. Considering how dim the display is, and it's not particularly high resolution, I'm surprised actually that it's not a bit better here. It has the usual 45-watt compact adapter that's very small and very light, easy to carry around. So overall, it's a very competent laptop. It's pretty sturdy in terms of the build. It might be plastic, but plastic's pretty darn durable and impact resistant here. Port selection's decent on it. The display is pretty tolerable as long as you don't need the brightness. There's a lot to like here for the price. But if there are too many concessions happening here for you, there's always the Inspiron 7000 model. Opening this up is actually very easy. Phillips head screws, you can see the holes here. This is where the Phillips head screws all go. And then you just pry it off from the back here. It pries off pretty easily. It's going to cling on a little bit. See, this here is a magnet. Then the reason this magnet is here is to help it stay shut when you rotate it into tablet mode. So you'll feel a little tug there, but nothing to worry about. There's the battery, 42 watt hour, 2 RAM slots, pretty nice at this price range especially, and just for an Ultrabook often they have RAM soldered on or maybe 1 slot at best, so that's pretty nice. You've got 2 DDR4 RAM slots going on there. There's our heatsink and our fan. This is the SSD, so this is why it's not the fastest SSD. It's a SATA3 interface, and it's not even using the M2 connector. It's using the SATA connector because this also is available with hard drives. So they're going the easy route. They're not adding any more connectors on board. So this is a 2.5-inch SSD, actually. Our speakers are surrounding over here. And there's our Wi-Fi card, and of course, Intel 8th generation CPU here. This thing is powerful enough to be your main machine for most people, unless you're doing really heavy lifting, engineering, CAD sort of work. For mainstream kind of use, though, you've got all the horsepower that you need. So that's the Dell Inspiron 13 5000 model. And I actually like this a lot because, well, obviously it's more affordable than some of the higher end models, the Dell XPS, for example, or the Inspiron 7000 series, but it's a good no-nonsense laptop. Sexy, it's not so much. Bad looking, it's not either, but it's good value, good sturdy build for the money, ample selection of ports. You get a touchscreen, pretty decent looking, usable backlit keyboard. All the staples are here in a brand that a lot of people feel comfortable with and trust. You can get it serviced easily. It's not bad. I'm Lisa from Mobile Tech Review. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more cool tech videos, and thumbs up if you like this vid.